really on the losing end here of the bargain, so to speak, no? The way I see it, hindi na-negotiate at mahina yung naging leverage natin.
Prof, nung narinig mo itong resulta ng negosasyon, kung ihahambing mo sa ibang mga bansa, lalo na sa Southeast Asia, anong masasabi niyo po muna, Prof?
Well, definitely hindi we are really on the losing end here of the bargain, so to speak, no? The way I see it, hindi na-negotiate at mahina yung naging leverage natin regarding this 19% tariff na inaprobahan ni President Trump kamakailan. But I think what we need to understand here is not just the tariff that is being imposed to the exports that are coming to the U.S., but more importantly, yung zero tariff rate that was created for those imports that will be coming into the Philippine shores. So this is really unfair to think that the United States has been our trading ally and historical partner for a very long time. And para bigyan tayo ng ganito kababa na margin, I think this is way too much, and kumbaga binyahe pa to ng ating Pangulo, with his contingent, with his representatives with him, and then nakuha lang niya is just a 1% reduction. You remember in the case of Indonesia, the Indonesian president only made a phone call and it was significantly reduced, I think from a high of 42% to only 19%, if I'm not mistaken. Same thing with Japan, So sa atin medyo malaki yung dagok nito, considering na tayo ay kinikilala ng Estados Unidos bilang isang kasama, tinatawag tayo na isang historical and traditional ally, pero hindi nila maibigay yung bare minimum na hinihingi natin at the very least.
Opo, inuto lang ba si Marcos Jr. doon sa mga pahayag ni Trump? Kasi sabi, tough negotiator, pero parang ang lumabas doon sa parang magaling mag-negotiate si Trump ang magaling mag-negotiate dahil parang lamang siya doon sa nabanggit mo nga Prof kanina na lugi ang Pilipinas.
Yeah, actually, I think it's more of sarcasm and indirect insult, kung susumihin, o siguro pampalubag-loob, para lang wag masabi na naging katawa-tawa itong kinahinatnan ng pagpunta ng ating Pangulo dito sa Estados Unidos para lamang, just to save face at the very least. Pero yun nga, kung titignan natin, ang hindi nakikita rito, is that there are geopolitical reasons or geopolitical tendencies that we place here that are at stake here, Halimbawa, hinayaan natin na magkaroon ng mga EDCA sites dito sa ating Pilipinas, which expose us to a lot of possible conflicts. I think case pag mag-escalate ito into a full-blown standoff or conflict, talagang apektado tayo rito, pero ito nga, ito lamang yung hinihingi natin, a preferential trade agreement to lower down the tariffs, not really to wipe them out entirely, pero hanggang 1% lang yung kayang ibigay sa atin. So this is really quite disheartening to think na yung ating namang trade deficit with the United States is very low, kumpara dito halimbawa sa Vietnam or even Japan and Indonesia na may matataas na trade deficits with the United States. So tayo mababa lang, I think it's just around 4 billion, pero still the same, hindi tayo pinagbigyan ng mas mataas na tariff cut. So I think this is really quite disheartening, and at the same time nakakapanghina, if you're a Filipino, to think na yung kanilang mga produkto will be able to penetrate our markets without having to go to any kind of tax or levy that can be imposed on them.
Opo, bago lang si Boss Dada, balikan ko lang yung naging post sa social media ni Trump, parang sarcasm nga ang dating sa akin kasi sabi pa dito President Ferdinand Marcos of the Philippines is just leaving the White House with all of his many representatives, no?
Right,
So kung parang ang dami mong dala doon, tapos 1%. Actually, galing tayo ng 17, unang deklarasyon ni Trump, 17, tapos itinaas sa 20, tapos 19. Mas okay pa sana kung ni-request nila, baka pwede balik na lang doon sa 17. Ang Indonesia, 64%, galing ng 64, ginawang 32, after ng negotiation, isang tawag lang, no, nandun lang sa sofa si Prabowo, ay 19%. Ang halos kaparehan lang natin. Hindi siya gumasto, wala siyang many representatives na sinabi ni Trump. Sa Vietnam naman, galing ng 90%, naging 46%. After ng deal, 20%. Pero ipinagmalaki pa nga nitong si Marcos Jr. dito pa lang na tanging leader sa Southeast Asia na inimbitahan. So, ibig sabihin siya lang yung pumunta doon at nakipagkita face-to-face sa Pangulo. Pero ito pa rin yung resulta po, Prof.
Yeah, yun nga yung medyo nakakabahala din dito. Na to think, titingnan natin dito is commensurate ba yung nagastos ng kanyang contingent doon sa pagbisita sa Estados Unidos. Remember, this is a 3-day working visit. Is it enough, no? Na ganito kalaking ginastos pero ganito lang naman kaliit yung nakuha. And siguro mas mahalaga rito ang puntusan kung ano yung talaga magiging epekto nito, no, para sa atin. Particularly doon sa mga kababayan natin na nandoon sa US, no, na kung saan yung presyo ng mga goods na manggagaling sa Philippines will almost be equivalent to the products that are being locally produced. So baka nga mas mahal pa talaga, no. So mawawalan talaga ng market, no. Maaaring maging malaki rin yung epekto nito, lalong-lalo na doon sa ating Filipino community na nasa Estados Unidos. So, I think mas maganda siguro na gumamit si Pangulong Marcos ng mga bargaining chips, no? Ika nga, no? Like, for example, yung ating mga OFWs na nandun sa United States na nag-aambag ng malaki sa ekonomiya ng Estados Unidos. Ganun din naman yung mga yung mga EDCA sites na nandito, no? Which is important para doon sa kanilang strategic defense. And then, siguro dapat ibinala na rin dito ni Pangulong Marcos yung kanyang foreign policy na talagang nag-shift talaga 360 degree towards the United States. Maybe he could have gotten a bit more. But knowing Trump, who is also a businessman, he understands the complexities of these things very well. And maybe ito yung dahilan kung bakit hindi naging madali para kay Pangulong Marcos na isulong yung kanyang kagustuhan.
Boss D?
Prof, yung kasi sinabi ni Pangulong Marcos, hindi niya kontrolado yung 1% at saka yung 20% minus 1% na taripa. So, yung 0%, sinong may control nun? Tayo ba o Amerika?
Supposedly tayo talaga yun, because ito kaparte ito nung tinatawag natin na foreign trade policy ng isang bansa, no? So kung tayo ay magdidikta ng taripa batay dito sa mga pumapasok ng mga goods and services dito sa ating bansa, nasa sa atin yun, because these are what we call protectionist policies, no? So what do we mean by this? Naglalagay tayo ng mga trade barriers, particularly in the form of tariffs and custom duties, para hindi madaling makapasok yung mga foreign goods and services dito sa ating bansa na maaaring pumatay dun sa ating mga local industries. But then again, if we want them to be able to go here, wala namang nagiging problema yun, for as long as we will be able to impose taxes. So, ang nangyari lang dito is talagang siguro gusto nating buksan yung ating merkado sa American products and goods. But then again, yung kanila namang merkado, medyo bahagya nilang sinasakan sa atin by imposing a 19% tariff. No? So, sa era ng tinatawag nating globalization and free trade market, yung tinatawag nating global market integration, kinakailangan magkaroon ng tinatawag na parity, especially when it comes to trading. And in this case, wala talaga, no? Because we need to face a 19% tariff hurdle for our goods and commodities to go to their market, while in their case, wala silang magiging problema, no, sa pagpasok ng kanilang mga goods and commodities dito sa ating bansa, which is of course very, very unfair.
Does that mean magmumura yung mga produkto ng mga Amerikano dito sa Pilipinas?
Ideally, ganun ang mangyayari. Ganun ang maaring mangyari niyan dahil nga kumaga parang duty free, no, or tax free technically. So maaring magmura siya, pero yun nga ang downside naman ito is yung ating mga goods and commodities na i-export sa kanila. Kinakailangan magbayad tayo ng 19% tariff. And when you try to look at it, the United States naman talaga is not, it's not really one of those countries na pinagkukuhanan natin ng maraming imports. Technically, no, most of our imports are actually coming from China, and some of them are also coming from some ASEAN countries, no, not entirely the United States. But then again, siguro yung magiging magandang resulta nito, no, medyo bababa yung presyo ng mga commodities coming from US.